Hi, I'm Cecilia. I live in Central America. I'm retired. I've been retired 3-4 years now. And I would like to tell you that I'm happily retired. My LinkedIn says I'm euphorically retired. I would like to say that I'm fulfillingly retired. But the truth of the matter is that I am bored. I don't know what to do with myself without having a job to keep me busy. I have no clue how to go forward. And so I think that probably some of you are experiencing the same. And this is a series of videos about my journey to find a fulfilling pastime, a fulfilling, sustainable hobby that I can use to take up some of my time. So, in case you're wondering, Cagney's wearing the cone of shame. The cone of shame. So, some of you already know, and some of you are getting ready to experience that retirement ain't for sissies. I mean, when we're working, when we are driving an hour or taking public transportation an hour, fighting our way through weather, to stumble into the office or the factory or the hospital or wherever you are, only to have people say, "Where have you been? I needed this 5 hours ago. Where is this? Blah, blah, blah." And in your mind, in not just the back of your mind, in the front of your mind, you're saying, "Oh God, I can't wait till I'm retired." But I think what you're really saying, is, I can't wait until I don't have this job anymore. Because you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know retirement until you have it. And so most of us, me, are not prepared for the reality of retirement. At first, the first 2 months, the first 6 months, sleeping late is nice. Relaxing your brain, nice. It's nice. You need it. But after a while, it kind of becomes rote. It kind of just becomes like, time to make the donuts.
Time to make the donuts.
It loses that initial joy. It's like if Christmas was every day. You know, who cares? So I did some research online about how to survive, and not just survive, how to thrive in retirement. How to make it not just like time to make the donuts, get out of bed, feed the dog, watch some television, go to the grocery store, how to build a retirement that is joyful for you. So I did some research and I took some notes because I want to get it right for you. Now, let's say in advance, right up front, that I am not a psychologist. I am not any kind of expert. I was a software developer, which means that I'm probably partially on the spectrum. So I'm not saying that I know how retirement should work for you, but these are some points I took from some experts. for surviving retirement, because retirement ain't for sissies. So the first thing is prioritize your health, engage your brain and your body. Prioritize your health, engage your brain and your body. And I don't think they mean that you got to be going to the doctor every day, or going down to CVS. Does CVS even exist anymore? And checking your blood pressure every day. I don't think that that's what they mean. I think they mean you've spent a lot of years being stressed at your job, so now you should release the stress. If there are things that you enjoy, physical things that you enjoy, maybe you were a high school tennis player and you've always wanted to get back into it. Maybe you can get back into tennis. Maybe you just take a walk in your neighborhood with the lady 4 doors down. You need to start thinking about you, not just your mind, but your body, because to enjoy, to have a sustainable, fulfilling retirement, your body needs to cooperate. So that's number one that I took away from my research. Number 2 is stay socially connected, create and renew relationships. Stay socially connected, create and renew relationships. Probably, if you had kids, as your kids were growing, you went through different phases of, I'm a soccer mom now, I have to drive these kids to all these different afternoon activities. Maybe they played on away teams, you had to go away for the weekend. You kind of lost yourself. Maybe if you were the kind of person who went to the gym during lunch at the office, you might have some gym friends who you hardly ever saw because their kids weren't on the same teams that your kids were. Maybe you were just a workaholic and you worked 80 hours a week and you didn't have time for social activities. But in retirement, you need social activities. And even if you're married and the two of you are retired together, I think that you need to find some separate social activities. Your spouse needs to go do things with their kind of friends, doing things that they enjoy. You need to go do things with your friends, play cards, play pickleball, go shopping, go to the ladies' lunch. Who knows? You need to have a social network that you can just talk to, because in our job we talked a lot. We talked, and now we're at home, and you can only say, how were your eggs, so many days in a row before it's just too much. So go. Have some coffee with a friend. Play some cards. Find some friends, even if you have to find them. Maybe you can find them. Maybe there's a retired ladies a group at your church. If you've moved to a new town, you look on Facebook. There's probably a retired men's group that meets in a coffee shop near your house. The local community center might have pickleball. You don't have to play. You can just go and hang around maybe and talk to people until you get up the courage to play. But social activities, being with people, being with humans. Cagney is not enough. Being with humans, you have to do it. And the last point that I took away is pursue fulfilling activities. Pursue fulfilling activities. And that's what this series of videos is all about, because I take care of my health and I have a social group. I go to lunch, I go to games night, I go to the beach, I go shopping, I chat every morning on WhatsApp. I have a social group, but I don't have a fulfilling activity. And that's kind of, no, that's not kinda, that's really important where I live, because we have 6 months, count them, 6 months of rain every year. It doesn't rain all day, every day. In a normal rainy season, which we know climate is no longer normal, but that's a different video. In a normal rainy season, you wake up, it's a beautiful morning like today. It's a beautiful sunny morning, kind of cool in the morning, cool, 65. Cool in the morning, sun's out, you go out, you run your errands, maybe you go to the beach, maybe you go shopping, Then 2, 3, 4, definitely by 4, starts to rain. It started clouding up at noonish. 2, 3, 4, starts to rain. Rains until 10, stops raining, beautiful morning, rinse and repeat. So once it gets close to rain, I just want to stay home. And so what am I going to do from 2 in the afternoon on until it's time to go to bed? One thing I have discovered so far already that is key in searching for a sustainable, long-term, happy pastime in retirement is knowing yourself, being honest with yourself about who you actually are. If you hate bugs, chances are you're not a hiker camper. If you cannot hold, if you cut your legs when you're shaving, chances are you're not a woodworker. If you don't like to sweat, you aren't going to be working in your yard. So people are going to give you all kinds of advice. Listen to their advice. Take their advice. Listen and internalize their advice. But match that advice up against who you really are. And know yourself. I remember this clip from Saturday Night Live, Adam Sandler. I'm going to see if I can find that for you. It's all about knowing yourself.
I want to be very clear about what we can do for you. We can take you on a hike. We cannot turn you into someone who likes hiking. We can take you to the Italian Riviera. We cannot make you feel comfortable in a bathing suit. We can provide the zip line. We cannot give you the ability to say we and mean it.
So, in keeping with my self-diagnosed being on the spectrum, I have created for myself, this is just for me, but feel free to use it, but also feel empowered to create your own. I've created a criteria for a satisfying and sustainable hobby. It's a checklist. Currently there are 5 points. And as we go in the future and we go through the various hobbies I'm going to try, we will revisit this and see, does it meet this criteria? So let's go through it. The first thing is that it should be project-based with tangible results. By project-based, I mean it has a beginning, you work through a process, then there's an end, and you have a tangible result at the end. Something to show for your effort. A beginning, a clear end, and something to show for my efforts. That's number one. Number two is that I have the skill or the learned expertise to complete the project on my own. The skill or the learned expertise to complete the project on my own. That's number two. Number three, it needs to be affordable to start and affordable per project. So, I'm not gonna buy $2,000 worth of equipment to start something that I don't know that I'm gonna like. I'm not gonna set up a wood shop to do wood where I might cut my finger off. So it needs to be affordable to start and affordable per project. Number four, the ability to source materials, supplies, and tools locally. Ability to source materials, supplies, and tools locally. Now, as I told you, I live in Central America. We don't have a Michael's or a Joann's in every shopping center. We really don't have shopping centers. So either it needs to be a tool that I can find here, or I need to ship it to the bigger city. That's my dog. I really don't want it to have to be shipped in. And finally, for me, number five, the sense that time flies when I'm doing it. Time flies when I'm doing it. I can lose myself. I'm enjoying myself. I look up and I say, oh my God, did I have dinner yet? That's kind of what I want my hobby to be. 5 points. And we're gonna go back for each hobby that I attempt. We're gonna go back and revisit each of these points to say, yes, no, maybe, yeah, fantastic. That's what I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Over the next few episodes, we'll look into things that I tried that just didn't work out. Things I discarded right out of the gate. We will also talk to some people who I believe are building amazing retirements for themselves. And we will start on my next new hobby. I'm sure this is gonna be the one. I really appreciate you watching to the end. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and a follow. If you know someone else who might like it, someone else in the same boat as me, forward the link to my channel to that person. Big thanks to Sean Brooks of Sean and Nina for guidance and encouragement. I really appreciate your time. The link to Sean and other important links can be found in the episode notes. See you next time.